Yeah, we can start. So, yesterday we were talking about EC2 machines, right? Instances. I mean, how to create them, what are those, what are things required for, to create an EC2 machines and everything. And we have covered a little bit of AMIs also. We call them Amazon machine images, just like, template where we create instance out of that. So, we'll see a little more of that. I mean, little more means like we already created an AMI, or you can use the default AMIs which provided by AWS, or you can create your own. Obviously you've seen that, like, you create an instance, and you whatever whatever you want to do, you do it in the instance, and you create an AMI, so the data will be present in that at that point of time whatever you took AMI. Now there is one more thing, like, once you created an AMI you can create multiple instances. There is no limitation actually for that. So let me create an instance first, maybe a sample. So I'm just leaving them default since we are not creating easy automation today. Just leaving whatever it is. You already seen this yesterday. Oh, come on, where is it? Yes, yes, launch. So instance is initializing, statistics will come. Now if I click on right click here also in image and templates, you can see create image. What is image name? New image, maybe something, whatever the name you can. Description, test something. Reboot instance, I told you, right? If you click this option, the instance will get rebooted, and then image will start creating. So let's say if it is production, you don't want to do that. If it is production, you check this option, the server will reboot, and of course it will be down, everyone will ping you. So you can uncheck this option, and you can see something below volumes. These are all the 8 GB volume which default we have for the server. So it'll, when you create an AMI, it is taking the backup of volume also. What is volume, that next we'll see in the next few minutes, but for now it is taking the backup of storage also. So create an image, it will take few minutes based on the size, actually. So instances, where is the AMIC? You can see AMIs. Let's open. See, this is the AMI. If you see here, there are filters you can apply. Owned by me, because this is which created by me manually. You can say public images. You will see lots of things. These are all AWS public images. See, almost so many are there. You can use any of this. Even we used, right, yesterday Ubuntu, today also Amazon Linux we used. They will be in this list somewhere. We have to figure it out. There will be lots of EMIs. I don't know the count exactly how many. See, 1000 plus. So you can choose anything. Let's say you want the old version, maybe you want to 14 or something. It might be available. So let's try Ubuntu. Obviously there will be a huge number. So 751 plus. Oh my god. Let's try Ubuntu maybe 14 if it is exist or not. Obviously it will take some time because it has filtered out from more than 1000 images. These are public images. You can build your own image just like this, or you can build your own image from scratch also. That is also possible. It's taking too much time to load. Okay, that's okay, let it load. So this AMI is like a backup of your EC2 instance. So let's say now, I mean, maybe at this point of time I took a backup of for my instance. I mean, I created my image. Whatever data is there up to this point in my server will be stored obviously in that. So once I created an image, after if I update some data, the image won't be reflected. It just like in a backup. If you took a backup now, and maybe in the evening you updated some data in the server, let's say, how the hell the backup knows about the latest ones? It does not know, right? Because the backup is took at some point, maybe this time. So until this time, the data will be present. Got it? So like that. So see, there are Ubuntu 14. I think Ubuntu 14 is deprecated. We don't use it anymore. I'm just trying to show you. That's it. And next we have something called private images. Let's see. There is one image. Private image, ours image. I mean, which we just created. And disabled, no disabled images. Of course, yeah, you can see our image is ready. Obviously, you can create a new instance by this. So launch instance from AMI. Not only this, just click go to instances. Let's launch instance. Come on, it's loading. So you can select your image here also in here Amazon Mesh image. That's what we have to select, right? So let's wait. Let it load. Browse more AMIs. You can click. My AMI is created by me. See, new image. This is what we just created, right? You can select it. It will come. See, new image is selected. It's loading. I mean, you'll see that. So not you don't need to go to AMIs, and you don't need to select the AMI launch instance from AMI, nothing like that. You can just directly come here, search your image, and obviously you can create it like this. So that is also possible. We don't need it now. So now, of course, you can delete the AMI also here. You already seen it. There is one more thing. As I told you yesterday, regions, right? So my server is in it's in Ireland region as of now, in EU West 1. I got a scenario now as an example, like I want the same server in another region. So maybe Ohio, or not Ohio region, let's say US West East 2, sorry. So I want my similar server, I mean whatever the data is here, I want in that region. How to do it? We can't just copy the server from one location, one region to another region. So it's not possible. So you know what you can do? Simply, you create an AMI out of the instance, and you copy the instance. Sorry, you copy the AMI. See, copy AMI option is there. If you can copy the AMI to different regions. See, I mean, what is the AMI copy name? New image, destination, description. Sorry, blah blah, whatever the description you can give. Destination region. Which region you want to copy? You choose the region here. Anything. See, maybe Ohio I want to copy. Copy it. You want to copy the tags also? Yeah, you can copy the tags and say copy AMI. It might have copied. Let's go to that region in the new tab. Ohio. See, it's in a different Ohio region. See, my image is there. See, like that. It's pending, still it will take some time to copy, obviously. But this is how you can copy, and you can create this instance now in this region if you want. The same region, right? Because you took a backup of the server, so data will be present obviously, and you copy to this region and you're using it. Same thing. So like that, you can copy from one region to another region within the same account only. Do remember that. If I say copy, it means just copying your AMI from one region to another region within same account, not to different accounts. Same account only. So that's how copy works. So copy means just copy from one region to another region within the same account. What if there is a scenario I want to copy to multiple accounts? I want to copy from my account maybe to your account. So there is something called edit AMI permission. Sorry. Click on that. See, Shared accounts. You can share to different accounts. Add an account ID. If anyone of you open the AWS account, tell me the ID. So it will be like here. Click on here. Account ID. This is the one. So tell me the ID. I can share it to you. Anyone of you open? If no, try it later. So you can give the account ID here and share AMI. It will be visible to you in your account if I share it to you. Same thing here. There is something called organization. There will be we'll see that later point of time. So you can give the organization name or ARN. I mean organization details. Let's say it will share to that organization also. Organization account. I meant to say. If you want to share to a different account, simply add account ID, copy, share MI. It will share to them. It will be visible for them in their account. And obviously you can remove also. You can select it if you want to remove from one account and remove the selected. So this is also possible. Sharing from one account to another account. That is also possible. Got it?
When we are sharing from one account to another account, on which region that image will
Which
be
region
placed?
you are copying from? Ireland. I mean, for in my case, right? So it will go to the same region. So same region, source and destination. If you are copying, sharing your AMI to different account.
Uh, I sent my ID.
Sorry. No,
I sent my.
don't send
Okay.
your ID. Just tell me. Let me try.
Oh, sorry. Let I can delete the chat.
One minute. Let me just. You send in chat.
Yeah.
Let me try. Cool. Now come on. Copy. Not required. I want to edit. Edit AMI permissions. Add account ID. Paste it. Now share AMI. Save changes. Successfully updated. Now permissions. If I click on here, shared account. This one. Now open in your open Ireland region and try. So looking for AMIs. Sorry.
Yes, bro. I can see in the private images.
See, as simple as that. Which region you're saying? Only Ireland, right? Why?
Yes.
Because I shared the source is from Ireland only in my account. Obviously, like that. Now I want to remove the access to you. I don't want to share the AMI to you anymore. I'll select your account, remove, save changes. Done. Now refresh and try. See,
Yeah, it went off.
like that. As simple as that. You can share it simply. Is it clear?
Yes.
That's about AMIs. So how to create an AMI, copy to another region, or share to different accounts also, and as well as deregister. Deregister means deleting the AMI. Disable means we're disabling it. It means the AMI is not deleted, but it's disabled. You can't use it. So I don't want to keep it. So deregister AMI. It's gone. Then that's it. That's about AMIs. Is it clear? Any doubts in AMI so far?
No.
So yeah, let's go to a new topic called EBS. EBS. Let's open Notepad. EBS means, sorry, where is it? Block Elastic Block Storage. These are nothing but volumes in AWS in cloud. While creating a server, we choose 8 GB of volume, right? Correct? We choose an 8 GB. Hey, I want 8 GB disk space. But how it's get creating 8 GB for you? There is a concept called EBS, Elastic Block Store. You can see here on the left side. It is creating a volume for you and it is attaching to you. So in Linux or in Windows, let's say, if you want to access the data, you have to mount them, right? So you have a hard disk, let's say, a new hard disk. You want to access the hard disk. Obviously, what you do, you attach that to laptop and you use it. Or internally, you have 500 GB hard disk. In Windows laptop, what you do, you format it at the beginning and you create mount points like local disk C, local disk E. Those are mount points. Same thing in Linux also. Slash dev slash something, ABCD something, whatever it is. SDA, SDB, SDX. These are all mount points, right? Even slash also a mount point, a default one, which we mount to our general disk. Here also, whatever we create while whatever the disk size we give, right? Let's say 8 GB by default we give. So that is the default volume. That is the default disk for your server. So that is the default disk for your server. So you can have any size with that. I mean, not just 8 GB. You can create anything. No worries. So we call it another way root volume. It's a default volume. We call it root volume. So you can the OS will be obviously stored in that volume. So let's log into the server. Is it open user? Git bash. Let's log in. Yes. My firewall 22 is allowed already, so that's why. See, 8 GB. It's mounted to slash, and of course the device name usually it will be slash dev slash SDA. Yes, yes for Singapore. But in AWS it will be XVDA, not S. Instead of S, it will be XV. That's how AWS have the naming conventions. But in general Linux, you'll have SDA, SDB, SDCL, something like that. Those are disk. I mean the names, device names. So here also we have 8 GB disk. So like that, you can create n multiple disk attached to a server. Use it. I think we already tried this kind of concept, right? In Linux, we tried it. We create our own disk. We mount it. We use it. We make it permanent mount. We use it. So like that. Here also same thing, but we call them volumes. We create a volume, we mount it. We create a volume with some size, we mount it. The volume size got over, we'll increase it again and we update the file system. So like that. So this is a volumes concept. We call them EBS volumes or no volumes. That is also fine. So the only thing you want to know about here is like how to create volume, how to attach to server, and what are types of volumes and what are their differences. So let's create a volume. Of course, this is I told you default volume. We call it root volume because when you create a server, you need a storage. So you have some storage, whatever it is, 5 GB, 10 GB. I would the recommendation is 8 GB because with less than 8 GB, AWS won't allow you to create a server. So recommendation minimum is 8 GB. Maximum, I never tried for maximum, but you can try maybe 800 GB also. Hopefully, I never tried. I'm telling you, right? Maximum I tried 100, not more than that. But you can try. But the cost, remember the cost. So yeah, forget about that first. So default volume will be created obviously when you create a server. That's called root volume. We call them root volume. Remaining volumes, let's say I want to add one more disk. So simply you can just go to volumes on the left side. This is the default volume which got for a server. We didn't create it, right? Server only created it. Now we create our own volumes. Create volume on the right side. Now first thing you see lots of types are there. What are these things? What are general purpose is there? I provisioned a job something, cold STD something. What are all these things? What are these things? Let's divide them into two categories: HDD and SDD. HDD and SSD. I guess SSD, right? Not SDD, SSD. Sorry. What is HDD means? Obviously hard disk drive. What is SSD? Full form solid state drive. Both are in different kinds of disk types, hard disk types obviously. The difference in how they handle the performance, how much performance it has. Let's start from, see, if you see there are no HDD, very less HDD, more SSD are there. So let's start with what is that, general purpose SSD. General purpose SSD is like, these provides balanced price, balanced performance. Mostly these kind of useful for not huge workloads or not less workloads, on average workloads it will be fine. And there is something like IOPS concept. IOPS means input output per second. It means how much data will be reading and writing from a disk per second. So mostly usually what happens is, any disk, normal any disk, let's say in on-prem or anything, it will store your data in the blocks. So it will store your data, hard disk, I mean, let's keep it simple. Hard disk stores data in blocks. So block size is 4 KB or 8 KB maximum. Like let's say you uploaded a video which is 100 MB as an example, let's say. For you it's a single video, obviously you can see that as a single video, but internally even in phone also, it will store them as a small blocks. The 100 MB, it will divide them into smaller blocks. Maximum size is 8 KB as I told you. It will divide them into smaller blocks, and it will store in the disk. When you access the video, it will together give you as a single video. So for us it will give us like that, but generally it will be storing as an a small size. We call them blocks. Maximum is 8 KB, minimum 4 KB size. So these IOPS, input outputs per second, it means how much data we are writing, how much read operations and how much write operations a storage can handle per second. So at that time, I mean, at the time means we decide what kind of a storage to use based on IOPS mainly. And there is one more thing called throughput also. IOPS means, of course you can see here, input output per second, IOPS you can see here. So how much write operations, how much read can able to do per second, based on the name you can figure it out. There is something called throughput. Throughput is similar to this. Throughput is like the amount of data can be read and write to the storage in a period of time, not in per second. Let's say maybe an hour, how much time, let's say in an hour how much data can read and write in an hour. So based on that, so same thing, read and write per specific period of time. So like this. So here what happens is like, by using these two things, we'll be choosing our volumes. The basic thing, let me tell you, first thing, let's forget about all these things. The magnetic standard, this is the old generation volume. Mostly we don't use this one because it comes with very low performance, so we don't generally work on this. But why is still there? Because I told you, right, the root volume, when we created a server, the root volume is created. Usually root volumes will be using this magnetic type volumes, because in the root volume majorly no one stores anything except the operating system. So performance is okay, I mean, anyway we don't have any UI in AWS, so performance would be fine. For that, magnetic volume can handle the performance of OS, but not other things, I mean, not our application workloads and everything. So that's the thing, so we generally don't use that. So next we have general purpose come here. So general purpose, uh, I told you, right, it has the balanced features based on the price, based on the performance also. And IOPS, it can provide up to 3000 IOPS. 3000 IOPS means per second 3000 actions it can do for input and output, if it is there, I mean. So but still that would be little less only comparatively, I would say, because 3000 IOPS may not be required. Imagine per second 3000 requests we are writing. Imagine for Facebook how much requests they'll get for a second. 3000 may not be enough, right? So not much. So that's why general purpose uh, not be useful for high range of applications. Small to medium applications is fine. And of course nowadays we are using general purpose for boot volumes, I mean root volumes. So instead of magnetic volumes we use general purpose for root volumes. I think now also we created a general purpose volume only. Earlier we used to use magnetic. So that's about general purpose. Next thing is provision diops. Where is the provision diops? Let's try this one. Provision diops is high performance because it can support up to 64,000 IOPS. 64,000. Imagine general purpose is this also both 3,000 IOPS, and maximum up to, I mean this general purpose SSDs 2, general purpose SSDs 2 are there, right? 2 from 3,000 to maximum 16,000, 16,000 IOPS only per second. But this provisioned IOPS, any of these two, can provide 64,000 IOPS. Remember see the difference. That's why if you have huge applications, large databases like these, people you go for provisioned IOPS only. Of course, the cost also will be like that. If they have to bear it obviously if they want this kind of performance. Got it? So that's about general purpose SSDs and provisioned IOPS. The difference is IOPS, the performance. Got it? That's the one. Next thing we have cold HDD. So cold HDD is also like not useful for regular applications. Let's say maybe you have data where you don't be accessing that regularly. You will be accessing that maybe very less not frequently, weekly once or monthly once, something like that. So performance is not a matter for me because I don't access that regularly, so it can be low, so no worries, it's fine for me. So that time you can go for this cold HDD. Where is it? Cold HDD, yeah, this one. And the last one, throughput optimized. So throughput optimized is this. I told you, right? Throughput. One is IOPS, one is throughput. This is not IOPS. This throughput does not work with IOPS. This is little old generation. I mean, old generation means HDDs. We don't use HDDs anymore. So this will be useful for large workloads like big data processing, these kind of things. And of course, this does not work in IOPS. This work in throughput. I told you, right? How much data can be read and write per specific period of time. So usually we calculate this in MBs. So throughput IOPS maximum up to 500 MBBS per second, MBBS per second. So obviously it's the cost is little less because of the performance, as obvious. So this about the sorry, what is that, volumes types and what it provides. Mostly people use based on, I mean I'm not judging, but depends on their use case, they'll go for provisioned IOPS. If it is okay, like normal high load, not too much load, general purpose is fine. Of course you have to bear the cost also, obviously. So that's about that volume types. For now, we can't bear that much cost. General purpose is fine. General purpose SSD is fine. I told you, right? Nowadays we using general purpose for root volumes. We call them also boot volumes because the boot files, whatever they required to run the operating system, we call them boot files. The boot files exist in the default volume. So that's why. So general purpose size is 10 GB file for me. And of course, if you see IOPS minimum 3, maximum 16. I told you, right? General purpose is maximum 16. If I let me select this provision, see 10,000 IOPS. Let's select this one, 500 up to, sorry, I had to remove this, up to 64,000 IOPS it will support. For now, general is fine. 3,000 IOPS, okay, it's fine. We don't write anything. Throughput, okay, you can give minimum 125 MBs per second. Obviously, this throughput won't work because this general purpose SSDs majorly works on IOPS. And of course, next thing is availability zone. in which availability zone you want to run. In our Ireland region we have three. You can run any of these. You can choose any of this auto by default, it's fine. But do remember, once you create a volume, obviously what you do, you will be attaching this volume to an instance, right, in order to use it. What's the point of creating volume if you don't attach it? So you have to attach it volume, and that's the final requirement. If you want to attach the volume to an EC2 instance, you have to make sure the volume should be created in the same availability zone as your EC2 machine. Anyone saying anything? So please indicate, if not please mute yourself, guys. Mohan Babu, please mute. Mohan Babu, can you hear me? Please mute your mic, for God's sake, man. Yeah, sorry, what I was saying. So if you want your volume to attach to an instance, you have to make sure the volume is created in same availability zone as the instance. So this is my instance, I want to attach the volume to this instance. Obviously, in order to use the volume, obviously I have to attach to some instance. So where is the availability zone? Yeah, here. So the instance is running EU West 1A. Observe here, 1A. It means the volume also has to be created in 1A. You have to sync that, otherwise you can't use it. So create a volume. Let's say my instance is in 1A, obviously, and I created my volume is in 1B. I can't mount it. It won't work like that. So you have to make sure they are in same availability zones. Remember? And of course, we have the volume created with 10 GB. You want to increase? Modify volume. How much? Maybe 11. Just I'm saying. Modify, obviously. It will take time. It's modifying. So once it is 100%, it will be 11 GB. Let's wait. It's available. See, 11 GB. And you see, I can see two volumes. Obviously, one is root volume. I mean, automatically it's created 8 GB. Another is the volume which I created. But why there is a volume state are different? Why? Because it's obvious. This volume is already being used by EC2 machine. This volume is not being used by any server, any machine. It's available. It's free. Is available to use or ready to use. So like that's fine. So you can attach this volume to server. So actions, obviously, attach volume. You can say, or delete volume. Obviously, you can delete it, but that's okay. Attach volume. Which instance? This is the one. What is the device name? So SDA will already be there by default. SDB, anything, you can choose anything. Anything. Obviously, even though if you give SDB, it will take as SDB, XVDB only. I told you, right? If you see here, XVDA, this device name is already in use, because for the root volume it's reserved. So if you're attaching any extra volume, you have to use the BC remaining letters, obviously. But even if you select SDB, it will be as XV only. See here, newer Linux kernels may rename your devices to XVDF through dev XVDP internally. Even the device name entered here as shown in the details SDF. See, even though you select here SD, it will come as XV only. Let's see, attach volume. Volume in use, because the server is using the volume, obviously attached. So obviously awesome. Let's see. Sorry, my bad. If I open another session, it will work. Instance, login to instance, obviously. See, by the time I copy, it will work. How to see list of disk attached? See, XVDA, this is 8 GB default. XVDB, see, I selected SDB, but see, automatically it will change. Obviously, see, this is the disk we have. Of course, we can't use it in the Linux level. What you have to do, you have to format the disk, you have to attach a file system, you have to, mount with the file system. Obviously, then only you can able to use. Otherwise, you can't use it. Oh, that's pretty obvious. So, how to format it? mkfs.ext4 slash dev slash xvdb, I believe. Oh, permission denied, sorry. It's xvd. Yeah, it's formatted. Now mount it. mkdir test vol sudo mount hyphen t ext4, sorry, it's slash dev slash xvdb slash home ubuntu test volume, sorry, ec2 user test volume mounted. See, it's mounted. This is not AWS, this is Linux. You already know this. See, mounted. I can able to create some files. Test volume in this path, obviously. Touch. Just creating some files. Oh, sudo. What to use? See, I created files. Now I can detach the volume from here. Simply go here, detach volume. It will be detached. If you see, detached. Let's refresh. Available. See, but let's try here. This is our server, right? Test volume is there, but obviously our volume it still exists. It's gone, but yeah, it's not reflected yet. It will take some time. Let's go to test volume. It's still there. Let's wait for a few minutes. It will take some time. So what happens here is now we detach the volume. You can create another server. You can attach this volume, and the data will be exist in that. Whatever the data 1, 2, 3, 4 we created, right? That will be exist. I want to say one more point very clearly. You can attach an EBS volume to one server at a time. Attach an EBS volume to one instance at a time. Let's say you want to have two servers are there as an example. You want to mount the volume to two servers at a time, which is not possible at all. One server at a time. Now let's say server 1 you attached. If you want to attach that to server 2, you have to detach from here and attach to server 2. Only that is possible. Only one at a time, not two. So do remember that. Obviously correct. So it is still reflected. Yeah, let's reboot it. Uh, let's wait for a few minutes. It will come. So like that, you can attach a volume and you can obviously detach it. Of course, I'll show you one more thing. Don't worry. So how to increase the volume? You already seen how to increase the space, but how to increase the volume if it's already attached? Let's see that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. df minus h. See, volume is gone. I mean, it took some time as obviously. Go to test vol, the path. Is there any data? No, right? Because the data is present in the volume, not here. Obviously. Let's attach it again. Attach volume, blah blah blah. Instance, device name, SDC this time, maybe different one. I mean, you can choose SDB. Obviously, there is no wrong. I'm just trying to show you. That's it. LSB VLK XVDCC. The command obviously here. Let's create one more folder. New volume. I'll mount here. Sudo mount. Sorry, mount. No need to mount. No need to format now because it's already formatted. The data is exists now. If you format now, the data will be gone. So no, don't format it unnecessarily. If it is a new volume, only format. If it is old volume, don't format it. Mount. What is it? Slash dev slash x. Sorry, xvdc. What is the path? New volume, right? df-h new volume. See, go to new volume, see the data exists, correct, obviously. So like that. But again, I'm telling you, only one server at a time. You can't mount your volume to multiple servers at a time. You can only do one after the other. Now let's say my 11 GB is full. I want to increase it. How you do? Simple. Go to modify volume. Maybe it 15 GB. Just example. Modify. Yes, please modify. Yes, I know what is this. Yeah, oh, I reached the limit. It's a free account. I'm telling you, right? Maybe not. Try 12. Maybe not instead of 15. Obviously, blah blah blah. Sorry, it's my bad. I have reached the limit, but it's okay. I can show you still. Modify volume. If you modify volume, let's say 15 GB as an example, it will only tell you, hey, you are modifying the size. You must extend the file system to the new size of volume. It's a Linux. You remember we tried this concept. If you increase the volume, you have to update the file system also with resize to UFS, the command. Then only the new size will be reflected in your Linux server. Otherwise, it won't reflect. So, got it? That's what I wanted to show you. But obviously, AWS is not allowing me. But that's okay. So you got it right. What I'm trying to say. Increase. If you increase the volume, you have to update the file system in order to cover the new size also, the newly size. So that's about the volumes, creating, deleting, and everything. Still, there is a concept. Wait. So that's about creating a volumes. You can delete a volume. Sorry, detach a volume if you want. Yeah, it will take some time. Yes, you can delete it if you want. Obviously, attach to another server if you want. So there is something called snapshot. What is this snapshot? Of course, modify your scene, how to increase and what is this snapshot? Snapshot is nothing but backup of your volume. That's it. AMI is a backup of your server. Snapshot is a backup of your volume. Create a snapshot. Let's say you have huge data in it. You will just simply create test snap something. You create a snapshot. Snapshot will be created where? On the left side, behind, below volumes, click on snapshots. See the snapshot, where is it? Test snap, see? It is creating for us. It's obvious, it will take time. So now let's wait, let it finish. Now this is a backup of your volume. You can create new volumes out of this backup, obviously. We don't call it snapshot, sorry. So out of this snapshot, you can create new volumes. And just like AMIs, you can copy the snapshot to another regions. You can copy the snapshot to another account also. Same thing. We'll see that also. Of course, let's wait until this came available. Let's wait. Let's wait. It will take some time, but it will come. Let's wait. Mhm, mhm. Yeah, it's finished. So see, now your volume is ready. Sorry, your snapshot is ready. I can delete the volume. No worries, because my data is already exist in the snapshot. I simply delete it. Delete volume. I don't need it. Delete, delete, delete. Done. See. Now I can create a new volume out of the snapshot, which obviously the data is exist here. So simply uh, create volume from snapshot. See, blah 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 blah. Create volume. Go to volumes. This is the volume. See the new one. Correct. I just created. Simply attach volume. Sorry, here. Attach device. Maybe E. Just as an example. Attach. Obviously, let's go here. Let's mount it again. Where is the mount command? By this time I should have typed. Yeah, that's okay. XVDE, I guess. Test volume. Mounted. Go to test volume. See the data. Sorry. Go to test volume. See the data exists, right? That's it. If you want to, you mount you. Sorry. I must be. Oh, wait. Sudo. Obviously, I unmounted it. Now I'll detach the volume again. That is as simple as that. Now, of course, I can delete the volume. Obviously, where is wait. Yeah, now it's available. Delete volume. Done. If you try to delete the volume which is in use state, I mean, which is using by EC2 instance, see, the option is not at all. It's it's disabled. See, and attach also is disabled because you cannot attach a volume to new instance if it's already attached to existing one. So that's about the snapshots. Create a snapshot. You can create a volumes out of the snapshot. Since you can't copy the volume directly, right, to regions, you can simply copy snapshot. Let's click destination region. Copy anywhere. Copy. You already seen it. I mean, I just don't want to show you again, but yeah, you can do that. You got it right. What I'm saying. Same thing. You want to share snapshot. Snapshot settings. Modify permissions. Click on it. Share to your account. Yes, you already seen it just now. For AMIs, we did the same thing. So add an account. Account ID. Let me add. I think I have it. Account ID already, right? Blah 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 blah. Just copy it. Where is it? Paste it. Add. Modify permissions. Yes. Now, Pradeep, can you try? See in the snapshot. Available?
Sure. One second.
Mhm. What happened?
One second. It's got locked out actually.
It'll come. Don't worry. So let's try. Yeah,
Yeah, I
just
can see private snapshot.
fine.
11 GB
Fine.
test
I
snap.
just shared. You can create a volume out of this. If I remove, where is it? Snapshot settings, modify permissions. I'll remove your, obviously, remove selected. Now you can't see it. Modified, refresh it. Is it there? It'll take some time. Don't worry.
Still, I can see, bro.
So that's about sharing snapshots. Just like AMS, you can share snapshots. No issues. So there is one more thing called here sharing options. Public. If I click on public means if I modify permissions, anyone who have AWS accounts can see this volume. If they know this ID, if they know the test snap the name, they can able to access this volume. They can able to sorry they can able to access this snapshot, and they can able to create it. They create a volume for their own. Whatever the data inside, they can able to access. But of course, I don't want it, so I will
Okay.
share privately for individual accounts, whatever whoever I want. Got it?
So yeah, when you give permission of
Hmm.
snapshot to some other account, that but in the particular account they created a volume
Hmm.
on top of that snapshot. So once if you remove the permission, also still that I can reuse that. I mean, whatever the volume I created,
Yes,
I can continue
correct.
using
You
it, right?
created a volume out of snapshot, and volume is independent now. It's running. Volume is running. It's being used. You can delete the snapshot. Does not matter really. Let's try here. I'll create a volume here. Create a volume from snapshot. blah 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 blah, whatever it is. I create a volume, right? Sorry, this is snapshot. So I created a volume. See, 11 GB volume I created, right? Now I delete the snapshot because there is no use of it. Oh, oh, sorry. Let's delete. Done. My volume still exists. See, because I created uh, volume out of the snapshot. I mean, I have the data in volume also and snapshot also. So I don't need a snapshot anymore. Same thing for you also. That's it. Now if I delete this also, data is gone obviously. But yeah, you got my point, right? What I'm saying. So that's about the
Yeah, yes.
volumes, EBS volumes. So is it clear? So that's about
Yeah.
today. So we discussed about AMIs and volumes, EBS volumes. So try it, practice, and if any doubts, let me know. Tomorrow we'll come with something called load balancing here. We'll see that tomorrow. It's very easy, don't worry. So yeah, that's it for today. Bye everyone. Bye all. Have a nice day and do practice. Obviously.
Sure.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.